In terms of our most expensive suburbs of the Sunshine Coast, look, really probably they're probably my two favorite suburbs to buy in the Sunshine Coast. But let's start first of all with a suburb called Badina. So look, Badina is literally just south of Mooloolaba. It's pretty much straight over the Mooloola River, and you can see here. That's kind of the headland of just Badina. If you cross the river to the sort of left-hand side, or that's in essence, that's the northern end of it, that's considered Mooloolaba. So Badina is literally the first suburb south of it. And look, the thing I love about Badina is, again, I'd say, like I said, Dicky Beach, a lot of it really is low density. Obviously, towards the headland there, you can see apartments, but most of it, other than that, is low density. And you have some of the most expensive, I'd say, beachfront properties here. Or should I say, they're not really beachfront, but they're the street on the other side of the street of the beach. Or beachside, should I say, properties in the sunny coast. And look, it's got pretty much the best demographics of all of the sunny coast. So you'll see here, remember Sydney, Melbourne and Brisbane people, the Sunshine Coast does not have the same demographics as your respective cities, but for the Sunshine Coast, these are very strong demographics. So you'll see median weekly household income of around $1,700 and monthly mortgage repayments of only about $2,150. So look, again, that's only a quarter of an entire month really, and it's basically almost paying for its monthly mortgage repayment. So there's plenty of disposable income here, or discretionary income, should I say, in Badina. So that's the reasons why prices can go up a long way, and it is one of the best pockets of all of the Sunshine Coast as well. So look, in my opinion, it's one you definitely should consider. You can still buy there for around 1.3 and 1.4 million sometimes, but most of the properties are, I'd say, around 1.5 to 1.65 now. So look, for people wanting to invest there as well, it is one of the best suburbs. It has done very well over the last few years, but if you're holding for 30 years plus for an investor, it still will do very well. It doesn't make much of a difference if you hold for the very ultra long term. It makes about a 0.5 to 1% difference depending on where you buy and how much you buy for and all that kind of thing. But definitely a suburb to consider, and it does lease very well as well. The final suburb I want to get into is probably my favorite suburb of all of the Sunshine Coast, and in my opinion, the best to buy in all of the Sunshine Coast, and that is a suburb called Alexandra Headland. Look, Alexandra Headland is basically the suburb between Mooloolaba and Maroochydore. It probably occupies the best, I'd say, lifestyle pocket of all of the sunny coast, being that obviously you're near both Mooloolaba, the Mooloola River and the inlet there, and the Maroochy River and the inlet there. You've got your walkable distance to the town centre of Maroochydore and Mooloolaba. You've got some beautiful beaches, some really good surf breaks there. And look, there's cafes and restaurants all over the beachfront here too that are really nice too. They don't open as late. Nowhere in the sunny coast really opens as late as Sydney and Melbourne, or even I'd say Vegas or Fortitude Valley for people from Brisbane. But look, really nice suburb, and you know, there's basically everything you'd need here. So this is just off one of the databases that I found basically online. I think it's off Microburbs or something similar from memory. And it just shows you what they rate out of 10 in terms of everything is. So schools 9, public transport 8, local employment opportunities 7, shopping and dining 9, parks and recreation 10, healthcare facilities 8, community spirit 9, safety and crime rate 9, future growth prospects 10. You know, look, as I mentioned with all the previous fundamentals of the Sunshine Coast market, there's pretty much nothing here that is rated badly, not a single thing. So it literally has everything. And look, Alexandra Headland also is going to be one of the suburbs where some Olympic events are going to be hosted. So that's going to only bring more demand to the suburb itself. So definitely consider it. It is my favorite suburb of the entire Sunshine Coast. You need about $1.5 to $1.8 million to purchase there alone. But if you've got that and you want to live or invest in a beachside kind of area of the Sunshine Coast, it is probably, in my opinion, your best suburb to buy in.